Hey, Colin,
Yeah, Cadence.
do you like media and entertainment that's badass?
Durr.
Do you like media and entertainment that's bitchin'?
Yeah.
And how about a little bonkers?
Hills, yeah, throw that in there.
Then I think you might like this thing called the Baywatch Rewatch.
Oh, God. Are you trying to promote the podcast I'm actively doing with you right now?
A little bit, is it working?
Cool intro. All right, well,
Let's get started.
let's get into it, guys. All right, hi, everybody.
Hi, welcome back.
It's Colin and Cadence, and we are trying something new. We are doing remote podcast recording, so I can see Katie's little face on her little webcam.
And we figured this out. It only took us about 8 weeks.
It took us
But-
the longest time to figure this shit out. But
And it took us one in-person go-round of recording remotely from the same house. But you know what?
I literally went
Doesn't
to
matter how you got there as long as you got there.
We are so not good with this. And we have all these brilliant plans, but it's just not.
Just
easy
know
to
that
do.
our brains are creating absolute genius content and
All the
our
time.
ability is still catching up.
So we left you last episode at episode 6 where we had like the team and Cocoa and Jesse became friends and Sean and Allie kind of had their little romantic little thing that they had going on.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're going to do today is we're going to jump to episode 14 where we may or may not meet some new characters, but in between we're going to fill you in on some of the weird, bizarre,
it gets
amazingly cool
it
things
gets
that happen.
batshit. I'm not even about to lie to you guys. It gets batshit.
There's like weddings and visions and more
And
ghosts
underwater
and
circuses.
Someone gives a pregnant woman literally gives birth underwater
In the ocean.
It's just a lot of going on. So
They once they introduce Dawn and then sort of like the team solidifies, Jesse and Cocoa are no longer enemies. It's just like, all right, now we're going to crank it up to 11.
yeah, now that you got like the character dynamics and everything, it's like, let's get that shit. And Dawn, there's a big secret that Dawn has that we're going to have to talk about for a little bit.
All right, so we're going to get started with episode 7. Episode 7 is called Risk to Death. First thing that's important about episode 7 is the new facility is open.
Oh my God, you guys. They have the governor of Hawaii come to their new facility.
The true
And
governor did a guest star.
And I don't know who's paying for that shit, but there is a gym. There is like a full kitchen. They have all these amazing, it's the coolest little place in the world. I would love to stay there. And
Mitch is definitely reminding us, he's like, this is my vision. My vision happened. This is my vision come to life.
They're like, hey, Mitch, how did you make this happen? And he just keeps going, don't worry about it. Or like, don't worry about it.
It's
don't
okay.
ask any questions.
No, we're good.
But we also get introduced to a really fun little character. She's like the operations office manager. So she's literally just responsible for kind of overseeing this facility.
Yeah.
But she can never be in regular clothes.
No, she has to wear a bathing suit when
is
she's at her desk.
Also full bathing suit. And
Just imagine those, like, the movies that show you the old, like, connector girls that are in the basement of, like,
it's like
the
Miss
big
Maisel
buildings
status,
in New
like
York.
Marvelous
Yes, Miss Maisel. And, like, she's doing that, but in a bathing suit
And
on the
she just-
inside of a building.
You cannot wear regular work clothes.
It's part of the
inside.
contract.
Part of
They
the
have you
contract.
sign it. But as Colin said, there's like, you got your living quarters. So everyone has a great and spacious room with more than enough lounge space. And then there's a central gym. There's a central communications office, the
Big
desk,
screen
the front
TVs,
desk. There's like
360 views of the ocean.
like a shared space of the kitchen. And then you've got the whole entire thing is floor to ceiling windows. There are no
It's
actual
gorgeous.
walls
It's gorgeous.
on the
And
outside.
whatever Mitch was doing, he did something.
He did it right.
But yeah, it's pretty amazing. But I'm kind of curious because they all have like desks, like little cubicles,
Mhm.
and I'm kind of like, what are they actually, like, what are they doing? Are they filling out, like, post-saving paperwork? Like, what
I guess so. Incident reports. I mean, that's all I can...
lady gave birth in ocean. And, like, I really cannot for the life of me figure out what they would be at their desks for. Like, I just don't get it.
But you never know, because this is like, they're doing something that's never been done before. So really, they could be paving the way for all of the bureaucracy that comes with having an elite team. You don't know. You don't know.
Yeah, so that episode pretty much, they just, Allie, Dawn, and Nick have to save the drowning man and his pregnant wife, who literally gives birth in the ocean.
Yeah, so they're out sailing. This man and his pregnant woman, they're sailing just like a casual day. She's just like super pregnant, loving life, eating on the ship. And at some point, the sails, like something in the sails breaks, and he goes to fix it. And so he's kind of distracted, and she stands up to see if there's something she can help with. And at that moment, like, the wind catches the sail because it's broken, so it like flips in the wrong direction, and she just like tips over the side of the boat. She's totally fine. Nothing happens other than she loses her balance. Her center of gravity is off. Happened to me so many times. Biffed it in the middle of the road once when I was very, very pregnant with Jonas, and I could feel it all happening in slow motion as I slowly was like hitting the ground, except for I didn't fall into the ocean. So
and give birth to Jonas in the ocean.
I mean, I wish I would have. I would have been weightless. So this is where it doesn't make any sense, though. I mean, granted, up until this point, it doesn't make much sense anyway. But this is where it gets real weird, because the husband's like, I think he's supposed to be like a tender, sympathetic, like empathetic husband, and he panics because he sees his pregnant wife fall into the ocean, and his response is not to turn the boat around and go get her.
She's got like a life vest on. She is chilling. She's fine. She's
floating. She's happy as she can be. Her cankles are elevated, and she's good to go.
So he leaps off this boat to be with her, which is very cute. But the boat literally is just...
There's no anchor. There's nothing.
It's just going into the horizon. And
at first, they have this moment where she's like, "Oh, you're so crazy. I can't believe you jumped in here." And they have a giggle. And
you okay? You hurt?
Of course I'm okay. I can still swim.
You scared me to death.
Ted, why didn't you just turn around and come back?
All I could think about was you and the baby.
The sweetest thing you could have done. Give us a kiss.
You'll be okay. You'll be okay.
And all of a sudden, the reality sets in that
it's like the middle of the ocean.
They're literally like, no, you can't see land at all. They're really far out. So they're just like in the ocean, bobbing up and down like two little apples and just waiting for help. And so as they're bobbing and they're just laughing, like, what a crazy shenanigan. Then all of a sudden she's like, "Oh shit, I'm in labor." But
and the team has
we're lucky.
They also are all part-time. Well, Allie for sure knows how to deliver a baby or two. Back in
she was a midwife. But Nick gets to come into play because he's the Coast Guard pilot. Mm-hmm. And so they get to go searching for the boat.
Developing a little thing for Allie. Like, you think Allie's going for Sean's bone, but actually she kind of really likes Nick.
And also, lest we forget, this is also the episode. Yes.
Oh, she's a monster. Yes. I hate her. This really solidifies your disapproval of Dawn.
You guys, like, what is Dawn's... What is her motivation?
She's doing. She's always got this smirky, weird little look on her face. She's always got this devious little thing. And later we'll find out about her big secret. But basically, she like forces herself onto a date with Allie and Nick, a helicopter date. Literally, she like, "Allie, I'm going to come with you." And then she does this thing where she gets Nick alone and she's like,
"Oh, I wish there was a hole I could crawl into."
Well, what do you mean?
Well, it's obvious. I thought this was a training flight.
It is.
Come on, Nick. It's more like a date between you and Allie. At least that's what you expected. I just wish I knew why she insisted I come along. I feel like a fifth wheel. Of course, now that I see you out of your uniform, I'm just sorry she got you first. We're ready when you are.
Where do you want me?
Right beside Meg.
Just
yes. And Allie's
straight
literally,
up.
I know Allie, poor baby, can't hear very well.
I know, because she's literally on the other side of the helicopter, completely oblivious.
She could definitely hear her. She totally heard it, and it was bizarre. And we just like, oh, Dawn, like we really don't like her. I don't care if she's.
I mean, you're on a very.
I don't give a shit.
Who cares if she is chairing the board of Air Supply? What is your end game, Dawn? There's only one thing. There's only one thing that I need to talk about real briefly before we move on to episode 8, which is there's a subplot. Never mind that the baby is being born in the ocean. We don't care.
I think my water broke.
No, you gotta stop it. We can't have the baby out here. Hold it back.
Hold it back. He's coming.
We don't care. The true highlight of episode 7 is at this point in time, they get this really cool brand new technology of a camera that can film underwater.
Oh, geez.
And so,
oh my God, I forgot. I thought this was the next one I was saving.
No.
We're definitely, we call it Underwater Circus, you guys. And we'll
post a clip on Instagram.
Were like, are we high on edibles right now? Like, did
truly
something happen? It is truly bizarre. Like, even for Baywatch, they took a spin. They took a risk.
They sure did.
Like,
I give them so much credit because
like
they
Kakoa
did risk.
and Jesse just like this weird circus music, and they're picking up various like sea creatures and like rubbing them on their body and doing these like
and posing with them
swim type things, and then
there's this bizarre music in the background.
Oh, you guys go to Instagram as soon as this gets posted and check out the video. It is bizarre.
So basically, everything pans out in the end. The baby's fine. Everybody's okay. I mean, the most important thing that happens is that the center opens. We see their new lavish accommodations, and there's a underwater circus, and a baby gets born.
All right. So after all that shenanigans, after the birthing,
water birth,
we go into episode 8, which is called Father of the Groom. And guys, this is where this is packed a lot into this episode.
This was, I mean, the thing that kind of kills me is that there are these episodes like the one that we summarized before, episode 5, where it's like 45 minutes of very little. And then all of a sudden, an episode like episode 8, where like every possible scenario the writers could even imagine. They're not like, let's kind of space out these conflicts, and then on the episodes where not so much is happening, we can sort of fill in the gaps. No, it's like feast or famine, all or nothing.
Those Baywatch writers just didn't really know how they wanted to go forward with this show.
They're breaking the mold. Breaking the mold.
First off, Kakoa has a really big fear.
She calls Sean over like literally out of nowhere to tell him this. So she's like, hey, can I talk to you for a second? And he's like, sure, what's up? And they're like outside in their bathing suits, and she's like, listen, my mom's Hawaiian, my father's
They're
Japanese.
always in their bathing suits.
I was named Kakoa because it means warrior. And, my dad has this samurai mentality, because he's Japanese. And that means he's got this whole air of like honor and perfection. And so I have that, like, it's in my bones. I can't help it.
She's blessed with that.
And so because of that, she is holding herself back from making rescues, because if she feels like if she can't make them perfectly, she doesn't need to make them at all.
And that's why I was laughing a little bit, because that probably got to get over that before you go to an elite lifeguard training school, because she's just like letting random people drown, because she's like, well, I don't know if I can execute those perfectly, so let's just have them die.
It feels like one of the first skills you need as part of an elite rescue squad.
To, like, be able to act quickly and
be able to rescue. But whatever.
It's like first thing.
Another big deal that happens right in the beginning, because we have these two kind of separate subplots, is that Mitch gets an invitation in the mail, and it's a wedding invitation. And who's the wedding invitation for?
You guys, if you're Baywatch fans out there of the whole season, it's Hobie.
Hobie, his son from California.
From California. And
he's like, what? What? Hobie's getting married?
I mean, remember in episode 1, Mitch was just remember when he went like straight into bitching to Rock about everything?
Yes.
He said, Hobie doesn't talk to me anymore.
And here we see that come to fruition. He's getting married and his dad has no idea.
And he's getting married in Hawaii. And his dad, Mitch had zero idea. But Mitch is super busy getting that money.
But I mean,
center. He's
also super busy keeping Tanner from joining the wrong gang. He's got lots of stuff to take care of.
You got so
building dramatic, giant new centers that are progressive in every way, breaking all
like
of these molds for
mob boss, just making all this stuff happen.
So he's really super shocked by this, and he gets in touch with Hobie and is like, I'm sorry, did you just send me a wedding invitation? Was this a mistake?
Or WTF, bud?
And Hobie, he's like, well, I mean, I came to Hawaii like for a vacation. Like it started as a vacation, but like turned out it's going to be a wedding. It's
just
very spontaneous.
Doesn't make any sense. And Mitch is a little bit hesitant, obviously, and he's a little bit hesitant with the bride to be, and he just like straight up is like, "Are you sure you want to do this? This doesn't make any sense."
Right from the get go, he's just like, "This is redonk."
Mm-hmm. And in the meantime, we have the rest of the team: the Sean, Allie, JD, Jason. They are going with a herring rescue with this girl.
Well, no, not yet.
Oh, I thought it was happening at the same time.
As part of Kikoa, when she tells Sean that she's got this samurai spirit and she's very afraid of failure, she's like, I think I'm going to quit. That's the whole point of that conversation. And so Sean says, no, not yet. I have something that I want you to do. And so he creates this really interesting and unique exercise for the whole team to participate in, and he says, you have to do this before you decide.
Sean, he's such a good leader.
So he makes them run an underwater race. So they have to wear like weighted stuff, and they have to run like a relay underwater with one of those like oxygen canisters. So it's not like a scuba gear situation. It's like you have like oxygen the size of like a hairspray can or whatever with like a little mouthpiece on it.
I've never used it. I've never seen it, but apparently they exist.
Mm-hmm. So the reason why this is important is because it's sort of
You just made the gulpiest noise. You're like...
I'm trying to hold back my vomit. That's why I had to swallow it down.
So because... It was such old lady mouth. Like, get me a Werther's Original. It was so old lady taking out her.
I was going to say taking out my teeth.
You and Allie could hang out. You and Allie would have a good time.
We just like to try on each other's dentures as a good time. You know how girls like to try on each other's clothes.
Oh, you and your sleepovers.
How do your teeth look in my mouth?
So anyway, after that growth.
So I was swallowing down my vomit because when they come up from this exercise, Jason is like really putting on the flirt because from episode 1, as we remember, he falls in love with her like get-go.
He loves
and
mature
so
spirits.
He can see her spirit from a mile away. He's at the airport and the angels, like the light shines down on Allie, and he's like, I can tell that this is the grandma for me. So they come out of the water, they finish their exercise, they're jumping on their jet skis, and Jason says,
You really are just going in for that. I can see you. Cadence forgets that I can see a little image of her, and it's like she's purposely going up to the microphone to be like, and I can see her little neck, her little gobble neck. So just back away, then do that, then go back up to the mic.
I feel like it's like sort of like I have to approach it, and my brain starts getting ahead of me, and so I'm like, "Are you ready? Are you ready to make the words? Are you ready to make the words?" And so it's just my body's doing something involuntarily, and my camera angle's not flattering, so you're basically seeing my bottom jaw and neck anyway. So they hop on the jet skis out of the water after their rescue. And now I feel so self-conscious. I just went to go swallow, and I was like, shit, I can't swallow. I'm going to make a noise. And I panicked, and then I had too much spit in my mouth.
It's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
We're learning.
So they come up out of the water for the third time. They hop on their jet skis. Jason shouts at Allie.
Hey, Allie.
What?
Looks like our first date. I'm serious.
And he says that they have now officially shared their first kiss because they shared a mouthpiece.
We shared the mouthpiece. That's the most intimate act possible in the Hawaiian culture.
Oh,
and
just
she's
made
like,
that up. He totally made that up. Jason, you're just making up shit.
You keep telling lies like that, boy, and the Hawaiians are going to drive you back to Texas.
And also, I'm sorry, as romantic
I
as you...
believe him.
Let's go. Strawberries.
What?
You taste just like strawberries!
Man, when he was older.
Romantic as you think that sounds, or like sexy, like you taste like strawberries. I don't know. There's just something I don't approve of that. I don't like it.
And she makes the comment.
I get what he's trying to do, but it's like basically saying your breath, like I had your breath in my mouth and it was strawberries.
And she says like, oh, ooh, like she gets real hot and bothered about it. And she makes this very visceral, like guttural, like, oh, yeah. But then she catches herself and is like, if only he were younger.
Only he was younger.
Every time. You sound like you're in Mary Poppins. You're Dick Van Dyke.
I do get a little cockney. I go from Australian to cockney. Hey, there's a shark in the water. Well, I don't know. I do it really bad.
There's a shark in the water.
Then a daring rescue happens where a woman gets stuck in... bet you guys like $100 you're not going to get what she was stuck in, but it has to do with lava and tubes. And so
it starts with an L and rhymes with Ava.
So she's stuck in a lava tube, and sure enough, Kakoa's the one to like really put on her big girl pants. She does the full CPR, and it's pretty, you guys, this is when Baywatch got a little bit like emotional.
She'll be dead when we get her out.
This is crazy.
What are you doing?
I'm giving her a chance.
No, I will not do this.
How can we knowingly let her die?
What am I, alone here? She is going to die. Now, either she dies in there where we can't help her, or she dies out here where maybe we can. I say she dies out here.
They thought this girl was going to die.
Right.
Even as you heard from the clip from Sean, it's like, this girl's going to die. And
this is one of those rescues where there doesn't feel like there's any hope. Like most of the time,
hope.
You sort of have this general sense of like, it's going to be okay. But in this one, it is doom and gloom from the get-go. And they have to make the choice of how they're going to proceed through the doom and gloom.
But sure enough, Kakoa comes up, she does CPR, and Jesse's like...
does not hesitate.
She's like, hey, let me get in there and help. You're getting worn out. And she's like, no. And she keeps doing it until the girl is saved, which is heroic. And Kakoa got a few notches in my book, little robotic Kakoa.
Mm-hmm. And she makes the rescue, and the girl gets saved. So even in this, like, she's legally dead, and she brings her back to life. So she solidifies her part here on the team as a goddess, essentially.
A Hawaiian goddess.
We're wrapping it all up, and the morning of the wedding, Mitch is playing golf with his future in-law, the father of the bride. They're golfing, and it comes out. Mitch says, like, I gotta come clean. I don't know why Hobie's embarrassed about my lifeguard duty, but he is. I'm not a doctor. And the guy's like, you're a lifeguard full time? Like, that's a full-time job? And Mitch is like, you're goddamn right it is.
Are you fucking kidding me? Saving
you're
lives?
Goddamn right
no,
it
it's
is.
part-time. People drown.
No, I just freaking organized an elite squad from all around the world and built this new facility part-time.
From mysterious funds that I won't tell anybody how I got. And I do, yeah, it's ridiculous. The father wants to just get a life.
Why he has any sort of like judgment about this, I don't know. So anyway, this is where it all wraps up. This is the important part, is during this conversation, Mitch says, like, I gotta be honest with you, dude. Like, I don't think these kids should get married. It seems like a very terrible idea. They're 19. They barely know each other.
Are you for this marriage?
No, I don't want them to get married.
Betty does.
No, Betty doesn't want them to get married either. But she'd rather have them married than being irresponsible. Look, who makes a commitment in this country anymore? Nobody. Nobody takes responsibility for anything. Play, have fun, enjoy the sex, and not the responsibility. Now, I'm not just talking about your Hobie or my Sarah. It's all kids.
So you're saying this is some kind of test to hold their feet to the fire and see how serious they are?
Ding, 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 ding. Exactly. To be or not to be married.
It's a dangerous game, Lyle.
Yeah. Kind of like golf.
And so this is his explanation for
It's
why he
cuckoo.
spent a bunch of money.
Cuckoo bananas. There's a lot of much easier ways to do this, guys. But anyway.
They spent so much time and money for a very basic lesson. So as you can see, they must have lots of money to burn. No one thought this through, but whatever. So it comes to the moment of truth or dare. The wedding has begun. They are all dressed to the nines. And Mitch looking real good. And Mitch says, okay, this is like takes the little couple aside. Are you guys sure you want to do this? They say, yes, we are sure that we've made our decision. We're sure we know what we want to do. And he says, okay, but they've got something up there.
All right, go for
their
it.
very, very formal sleeves, which is their decision is not to get married. The decision that they're sure about is that they're going to wait because they're only 19 and have their whole lives ahead of them.
And could you guys imagine, as parents who spent $50,000, I don't condone hitting anybody. But in that moment, I would be trying to hold my fist back or
I'd be looking for those golf clubs that I had earlier.
I'd be so pissed at my kids. I'd be like, you are disowned. You're emancipated. Get out of my life.
Get out of here. And so the parents of the bride are like, well, we have all this money and time and energy we put into this ceremony. What are we going to do? And you guys, the solution was right in front of them the whole time. They decide to renew their own vows. Teach themselves a lesson.
It's the whitest thing I've ever heard, but it's cute. So that was a really action-packed episode, and it was nice to see Hobie back because he was from the California
But
days.
also, like, where's Tanner during this celebration?
Tanner's in the gang, Katie.
He does not have time.
He doesn't have time. Tanner shows up with a teardrop tattoo.
He's got like a bandana around his thigh.
He's just like, hey, I made it. So that's the end of episode 8. And like I said,
the close.
It was very, very good.
So the next episode is number 9. It is entitled The Hunt.
Yeah.
You may think that this is about Dawn's personal life, her sex life.
Always hunting for some penis that she can find.
Men or drama.
Starts off with our team patrolling the waters, doing what they do. And then Jesse looks down and she sees what she obviously knows is a shark. Duh.
Jesse and Jason decide that he's going to drive by it and scare it with his jet ski. They're still not going to tell anyone that there's a 10-foot great white shark underneath them. They're going to casually ride up their jet ski.
This ragtag idea of like
do a little like vroom, vroom, and hope that it scares him, or scares the shark further towards the beach where it has more access to children.
So
but whatever.
This plan is not totally thought out. But
so once they drive over there, they realize it's not moving. It's not even reacting to the jet ski, and so they go under with just their not scuba gear, just like their little goggles, just to check it out. And their eyes. They go down there with their eyes.
They don't need goggles.
To check it out.
Already determined they do never need goggles in the show.
I know. I think about that probably more than I should, and it's probably taking up more brain space than it should. But I'm always like, what delineates like when you should wear goggles and when you don't? Because they never wear them. When they were like treasure hunting, when Allie and Sean were under the water, nothing. When Mitch is looking for the lava tube, nothing.
It's because they got to look good for each other, like Allie.
But even in when Mitch makes the rescue in the first episode, he's not wearing goggles.
Mitch will never wear goggles.
His eyes are goggles. He's basically a merman. Well, did we specify that when they go under there, because we got sidetracked about the goggles, that the shark's dead?
Oh yeah, it's dead. Sorry guys.
It's dead and its fins are missing. Yeah, so it didn't get scared by the jet ski because it was passed on. May it rest in peace. And so its fins are missing, and they realize, it's been harvested for shark fins. You were asking when we were summarizing the last episode what exactly they're doing with their kiosks, like their little cubicles at work. But
their little lifeguard kiosk.
As soon as Jessie sees this shark and is infuriated, and she should be, I'm not making fun of her infuriation, but that's what she's using her cubicle for. She immediately starts doing some research, and Sean's like, what are you doing, Jessie? You guys, she's an investigator. She's following the money. And Sean's telling her from the get-go, like, I don't think you should get involved in this. Like, it's pretty dangerous, and you're dealing with like black market gangsters.
Right? Pretty soon Tanner shows up. Smoking. Tanner's
He's like, are you messing with my shark fin gang?
My shark fin gang.
And there's a couple of important things that happen in this episode. One of them is that JD, Allie, and Jesse have a night chat in the water in the lagoon. They're just
night chats.
in the dark, sitting in the water, just chilling. Again, just pruning up like little raisins.
When we tell you guys,
spending all their spare time submerged.
When we tell you guys that, like, this is when it's called Baywatch, it's literally like nothing ever takes place outside of the bay. You will never see anybody like in a restaurant or a store or a mall or a home
unless
or an
it's
apartment.
the Hilton Hawaiian.
It's they do all their talking, they do their congregating. Everything is done in these weird
Their
lagoon
romance.
things. Romances,
Always
sexual
happens.
encounters. It's always in lagoons, and they're always in bathing suits. So just, I really just want to like really nail that into your head because it's amazing. I mean, it's truly amazing.
So they're chatting about it, and Jesse is, again, fired up, rightfully so.
I understand that we fish to eat and we harvest the ocean. But how could anybody do that? How could anybody cut off its fins and just leave it there to die? It's obscene to mutilate any animal like that. To slaughter a great fish just for its fins is immoral.
And
Jesse, I'm on your
JD,
team.
of course, like, JD freaking pipes in and he's like,
It's not about morality, Jesse. It's about money.
That's right, Jess. It's a big market. Shark fins are considered an aphrodisiac.
It's not just sex. It's medicinal. Shark fins are supposed to stop aging, cure certain illnesses.
well, there's he starts mansplaining. There's medicinal value in these shark fins, and some people are using them as aphrodisiacs, and sharks never get sick, and so, you know, they really help.
Dawn pops around the corner. Did someone say aphrodisiac? Oh.
I learned all about those in India and Sri Lanka.
In Sri Lanka with my spider bites.
Jessie decides that she's going to be a vigilante. And she's going to take care of this because no one will freaking help her. Everyone's telling her to just stay chill. And she's like, I'm not playing by these rules. So she takes it into her own hands. And she's going to go find these poachers
Single-handedly
on her jet ski.
Kill them.
So she sets out into the deep waters of the ocean on her jet ski and her lifeguard bathing suit. And you immediately can tell who and where the poachers are because they're wearing very identifiable, like, poacher / bad guy hats.
It's just like they're all in black leather. and
Very
just
menacing
leather.
hats.
Yeah, you can always tell a poacher. You can always in shows.
So she doesn't think this through entirely, that her jet ski can hold far less fuel than a boat.
She was so passionate about getting out there and finding them, and then she didn't really think about like what she was going to do when
she was
got
just
there.
blinded by her rage, like which she should be blinded by her rage, but she should also
You got to think a little bit.
just have some preparedness.
You got to, sweetie, you got to think a little bit.
And meanwhile, so they know that Jesse's missing, and they see that the jet ski's gone, and they're like, well, shit, she's chasing the poachers. And of course, JD takes this moment to be like,
Come on, Jesse, talk to me. I know you're listening.
Man, that girl is stubborn.
No, it's more than that. People see Jesse, they think beautiful, California, athletic. But there's another side of Jesse. You don't see it often, but when it comes, it's scary. Certain things set her off.
Like this shark hunter.
Yeah. She sees a mindless mutilation, she becomes consumed by a kind of rage. Good versus evil. Right against wrong. Protecting the innocent.
A shark innocent?
In Jesse's eyes, it's an injustice. And she's gonna set it right.
Regardless of the cost, huh?
Regardless of the cost to her, yeah.
That is a wonderful quality.
A very dangerous one, too.
just a prime example of a JD moment. He's not like, I'm really worried about her, like she only took a jet ski and she's out chasing these violent, dangerous poachers. He's like,
She's got no weapons. or anything.
You've never seen Jessie like this. Like, she gets crazed and she gets this look in her eye and she just is absolutely insane.
We're like, is Jesse and JD, do they even like at this point, do they even like each other? Like, what is going on with their relationship? Like,
it's very unclear.
As we heard from last time, Jesse was like, I don't even think I want him. Like, I don't know. So it's just you never see them intimate or together.
And it gets very passive aggressive.
Yeah, it's a bizarre thing. But anyway, Jesse goes off and
it's very important. This part is very intense. This is why I'm talking about it. So she runs out of gas. She's in the deep ocean. The guys in the very bad hats are like, oh, there she is. And so they freaking try to run her over. They turn their boat around full speed towards her jet ski. She tries to like be brave and wait it out, and at the last second she dives off of the jet ski, goes underwater. They hit her jet ski, it bursts into a million pieces, and then they say,
Oh, the pretty lady got herself wet.
Hell, looks like you had yourself a little accident. Anything we can do?
Yeah, drop dead.
Wow, you're nasty. Here, let me toss you something that'll help.
they freaking throw chum all over her. The chum they're using to lure the fish or the sharks. And so they try to like make her human bait for the sharks. And so meanwhile, the rest of the team has realized that she's gone. And so they're in Allie's helicopter looking for
Always in
Jesse.
Allie's helicopter.
Do you have a weapon, a rifle, anything?
No, this is a tour helicopter.
So anyway, they pick her up, they rescue her, and then one more very important thing happens. Jason has a fear of sharks, which we've learned from the get-go.
Which is strange. Like, he's Father Hawaii, and he's...
But in this moment, well, this is where he comes into full... This is where he comes into full bloom as Father Hawaii.
Jason, what are you doing?
Look, guys, Bonnie says if the ocean is my mana, and the shark is my brother. I gotta know.
Jason, don't!
So he dives under the water, and Kakoa's like, you guys, let him do this. He needs to do this. And he goes under the water. He sees the shark. The shark comes towards him. They make eye contact.
And kiss.
And the shark they start making out like crazy. The shark is a hoa for Momoa, you guys.
Such a hoa for Momoa. He's just like,
kidding.
Hey.
So he has a moment where he realizes like the shark is not his enemy and everybody is part of the same universal family. It's quite beautiful.
Jason's just constantly growing with the season. Like his character development just gets better and better and better.
He's like learning to marry all parts of his personality. I can exist as a Texan and a cowboy and a lifeguard and a Hawaiian.
I can wear my hat and I'm not Hapa.
Yes. It's quite lovely to watch. And my favorite thing is that this whole episode concludes with, because Sean's always the hero. Like he's wise, he's brave, he's strong, he's a problem solver. There's nothing Sean has not been able to do yet. And so they follow the poachers back to the dock because I guess the poachers just decided to drive back and park their boat as if it was no big deal.
Like nobody
oh
would
no,
know.
we were not. No, we were totally not those guys out there like in those bad guy hats.
We don't
like,
even know what chum is.
Throwing chum. Like what are you? Chum? What are you talking about? So they all of the lifeguards at this point, because they've rescued Jesse, Jason's back, they go as a gang to the dock. They hunt these guys down.
Hey, Porter, look who's here.
Hey. You're kind of cute.
Hi. I'm here to make sure you don't run.
From what?
The police.
Oh, my. Did I do that? I'm sorry. Sometimes I can be so clumsy.
Hey.
I'm not sure you want to be too close when I drop this in there.
Mister, you just called out the wrong cowboy.
And you guys, I kid you not, one of the poachers punches Jesse in the face.
You, bitch. You brought him here.
Oh, it's the saddest, you guys.
Punches Jesse in the face, and then Sean just like rages, like all of his beast mode comes
Hulk.
out in this moment.
Goes Hulk.
Fights the poachers, and then you know who the real hero of this is Kai. Remember Kai, who teases Jason for being Hoppa?
Yeah, from very beginning.
He comes out of the background because the guys are like, well, you're not going to stop us. And he comes out, he's fully dressed in like officer gear, and he's like,
well, that may be truer than you think. You've got no life preservers on board, no fire extinguishers. You're leaking fuel from the bilge, and that's leaking fuel into the harbor. This boat's not leaving the dock. Not now, maybe not ever.
well, I'll tell you what. Your boat isn't licensed for this. It's not licensed for this. It's not licensed for this.
Oh, he's a boat
expert. So either
expert.
you pay us $20,000 in fines, or you just leave.
It'll cost $20,000.
Look again. More like 40.
Of course, there is no way to enforce the impound until the office opens on Monday morning. And if you and this boat are gone by then and never come back, well, it'll be real hard for us to collect on those fines.
So they get the poachers on a technicality.
This
on their
ragtag
boat.
team, they still like. Don't you think like more official? Like there would be other people involved in like a huge poaching scandal. Like they have to get other people involved. It would not be Baywatch's solo responsibility to stop this. I appreciate their passion that they do it.
Right.
And Kai coming in there as boat police, I love that. He's read up on his boat. That's what they're doing in their cubicle. He's reading about permits and for boats.
Yes. So I think that I have mixed feelings about this because it's a little bit like getting Al Capone for taxes. They can't legally arrest these guys for poaching sharks because they don't have proof yet. But so they get them out of Hawaii based on like they don't want to pay the fines. But then I'm like, well, they're still just sailing the open waters poaching sharks. Like, yeah, they're not a problem in your particular harbor anymore, but you've just set them free to wreak havoc on the world. This closes out with on a really positive note because we've been through the trauma of this whole shark hunters
and it
ordeal.
gives us a lot of emotional distress about, saving our Earth.
So it just wants to make it right. And because of that, they're going to talk, because Jason has had his seminal moment, becoming a Hawaiian and seeing his connection with the world
and it's the best.
His culture.
Oh, it's the best. This was the best scene of the whole
He gets to
show.
Have the ceremony that basically inducts him into the Hawaiian family.
He is like a true Hawaiian now because he made eyes with that shark and they connected on this special level and now he's like full Hawaiian. That's what happens.
So he asks all of the team to participate as family in this, which is so tender.
Ohana.
And so all of the women go to meet with the woman who is like dressing them and they all learn that they have to go topless.
Oh, God.
And they have to wear leis, and they act so scandalized by this.
They're just like, oh my God, I have to go topless.
Are you sure?
They're literally
without a top.
Their breasts are out all. I mean, Jessie literally went swimming naked on a public beach, if we don't forget that little special part. Yeah. And she's like, they're panicking, and they're like, can you get more leis, please?
So they just pile on the leis to cover their entire top halves.
But then the best part is Jason comes out, and he's in traditional, I'm assuming it's traditional Hawaiian garb, which consists of a loincloth, and that's pretty much it. And you can see his little bum. So much side bum. You know how there's side boob? Side bum. That's what you get. Full Jason side bum.
And it's perfect side bum.
Perfect little side bum.
Perfect.
But then this girl comes up to him, and she's kind of like enticing him with this Hawaiian dance, and then it gets like very high school dance, like very sexual.
It starts out as like this really beautiful, like he's marrying, his soul with the Hawaiian people, and then this woman just comes out with like no top and a little loincloth. He comes out with his loincloth. She approaches him. She turns around and then she just starts rubbing
like
her butt all over his
crotch, and
everybody's watching it like, isn't this sweet?
But it's just bizarre.
And as an added honor, just as a side note, all of the women get their Hawaiian names. And
oh my God, Allie's Hawaiian name. I can't wait.
We go through all of them.
We pick island names because they reveal something about the person. I think I'd call you Mahealani.
Oh, that's perfect.
What does it mean?
It means the light from a full moon.
Wow.
What about me?
Kamoani.
Oh, I love that.
It means a unique, soft, fragrant breeze, one of a kind.
Very nice.
What about Allie?
Yeah, what about me?
Allie Kamauloa.
Kamauloa.
Oh, my, Leah, that's perfect.
Why? What does it mean?
That means a constant for all time.
Kamauloa.
That fits, Allie.
So, like, it's so sweet. Everybody's like, so you look like the light of the moon. And it's so like, Allie, you've
been around for a while, girl.
Very consistent. You will continue to be consistent.
Poor baby.
Oh, my geez. And Jessie's like, it is you, Allie. That's perfect. And it's just so unfortunate. All right. So that wraps up episode 9, The Hunt.
And we are on episode 10. It's called Gold from the Deep. And you guys, this one's a doozy, okay? And so they're stretching, and then
They have like a contest.
They're like
yeah.
contest.
Okay, same distance, 3,000 meters. Here to the jetty and back, loser does my hair.
Laundry for a month.
Well, I can't think of anything I need from you ladies, so when I win, you can fix my dinner.
That's because Nick's taking care of all your other needs.
Well, there's nothing we can do for Allie because Nick's filling all those needs.
And yeah, it's super weird. Like,
were you doing it before, Jesse? Like, are you?
Was that your special roommate job? Was that part of your chore chart?
She's using like a really like. No, I don't even think.
They've got like a chore wheel.
It's this week to pleasure Allie. Get out the cobwebs. So they're all doing that, and basically after this training, Allie finds one gold coin, and you know how she's a treasure hunter. We went.
She goes from 0 to 100 with this coin, guys.
She loves her rolled up maps, and she loves treasure. It's just like her
she's like, if there's 2 things that I love is rolled up maps and treasures.
And treasures. And so she
Jesus.
finds one gold coin, and then so we were talking about
not graveyards.
Huh?
Not graveyards. Remember, because they thought they found a treasure last episode, but it was the boneyard. Yeah.
Well, it was like a boneyard. It was like
it wasn't the Lion King.
It was like an ancient
elephant boneyard.
Well, it wasn't even a burial ground. It was a place of great importance. It was the baskets. Anyway, she's excited, and we were talking earlier about what those cubicles do in the new thing that we discussed earlier this episode because they got their new facility.
Their
and
new
we were
headquarters.
learning that they are doing a lot at these cubicles because
they are
Allie,
utilizing this space well.
She finds that gold coin and she immediately goes into detective mode, and she's ready to. She links this gold coin to a ship that was sank during Pearl Harbor, and that she's like, "There's a whole Fagin mess of treasure down there." And my question,
I don't know if you guys know that like 60 years ago, like our main currency was gold coins.
That's exactly what I was about to say. I was like, okay, we weren't using gold coins in the 1940s, but like, was this an old ship that like unfortunately sank during that process?
These are the classic gold coins of the 40s. We all know about these.
Also, like the government didn't know that this sank with all this money,
right? Because it's all official, like minted coins. So it's like they are very aware that this ship was carrying
and it
this
does not take
load.
It takes zero time to like charter a trip out there and do some excavating. Anyway, Allie finds this out, and she is just trying to get everybody on the team to go for this treasure hunt. And this is where we see Jesse's true colors.
We're gonna be rich. We're gonna be rich!
Oh, wait. First, we need to get salvage rights. To do that, we need proof that it's a ship we say it is. Then the first person with proof gets 50% of the salvage.
50% of the millions! Jason, you can buy the whole state of Texas! Yeah! Oh my god, do you guys want water? I think I need water. Okay, wait. We have to keep this a secret. But we are going to be rich.
She turns cuckoo bananas, we call her.
She is, I mean, I truly thought that there was like a subplot explanation that I missed, that she was like using drugs, like it was a Jesse Spano caffeine pill situation, because her behavior was so manic.
Yeah,
she's like
method acted, like she was rehearsing the role for months, and she was living in Skid Row and being a meth head. That's how she's acting in this episode. And you know, they say if you can see the above the iris that you're on amphetamine.
Oh, Colin taught me this.
Yeah, so if you can see above someone's iris, that means that they're usually like gacked out on Whoop Chicken. And this whole time,
Whoop Chicken,
her eyes are like buggy, and so she's just very excited, and
she's delivering her lines like at a 10 the entire time.
Yeah, she's shaking her head, and it's full Jesse Spano Saved by the Bell speed pills.
Right. So she is really. So this is the other thing that comes into play. Like, A, you see that she's using some kind of drug. B, you see that she is obsessed with the money that's going to come from this treasure ship. And they do sort of explain
this magic ship of treasure.
The real focus here is that they do break down sort of logistically how the money all pans out, because half of it has to go to the state for salvage rights, and then they get the other half. And so it's at this point, Allie's recruited Jesse, she's recruited Jason, and she's planning to go. She's already asked Sean if they can use it as like a training exercise.
A big important part of who she's recruiting is Nick too. This is where it's kind of
Nick. Yes, she uses her sexual wiles to seduce Nick into letting her use the Coast Guard equipment to try to track the ship at the bottom
Which
of the
is
ocean.
kind of a bummer because I really thought her and Sean were going to get down. But I guess
it was very much implied.
It was implied, but it's not going to happen, I guess.
That actually
really showing...
pops up later in this episode briefly, that same concept. So they do break down the money just a little bit. And the way that I figure it is that it's $1 million total, and then it's half, they get half, and then the half is divided between those 5 or 6 people that are on her dive team. So it's like roughly $100,000 each.
You learn real quickly that poor Jessie has zero concept of money or the economy or anything because she has this vision. Okay, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Hilton Hawaiian Village is proud to announce the arrival of the world's newest multi-millionaire, Jessie Owens.
For the finer things, she's a girl that takes your breath away. She's gotta cry, begging please, don't fly away. Show me the money, she's a superstar. Show me the money, she's a superstar.
It's like a 30-minute vision, and it's like her coming out, like first she comes to the Hilton Hawaiian Hotel and they're like the newest multi-millionaire, and she's just has all these visions of her like in leopard bikinis, like on various beaches, having people give her manicures and give her drinks, and basically she's living the life she's living now. She just has someone giving her a manicure, and it's like,
and she's every finger has gems on it.
Oh yeah, if you guys have ever seen Showgirls, there's a couple scenes where she has this total Nomi vibe, like leopard print bikini.
Right. All the things you think rich people do or have.
Very Versace, and she looks very Nomi in Showgirls, which poor girl doesn't know much about life. And so she walks by Dawn's little room in this little, shared space that they have. And keep in mind, it's off hours and Dawn is full in her bathing suit. Yeah. So she catches Dawn, and Dawn is like talking to someone, and of course it's that classic thing where Jessie only hears like snippets, and she immediately thinks that Dawn is trying to sell her out. And at this point, like, yeah, I bet Dawn is. Like, I do not trust Dawn at this second.
They're amateurs. Oh yeah, I'm not even sure they realize what they've got. Right now, it's just the gold coin. Yeah, of course, your ship. That's why I call. You can negotiate salvage rights and a percentage. When can we get together? Okay, don't tell anyone about this, okay?
Well, we have no reason to trust Dawn up until this point. She is a conniving backstabber.
So then instantly, gacked out Jessie runs to Allie and runs to Jason, who are still figuring it out. She's like,
Guys, Dawn is on the telephone talking to a salvage company about our treasure.
How did she find out?
It doesn't matter. She knows.
If the salvage company gets there first, we'll lose everything.
We have to kill her.
Thinking like it's gonna be this funny, like, haha, I'm just kidding. Like Baywatch, and it would have a funny. No, it's not.
Jessie catches herself going like, "Oh my god, did I say that out loud?"
Yeah, she's like, "Oh my god,
like,
I said."
She's
that
not
out loud.
apologizing for it. She's just acknowledging that she's considering committing manslaughter over $100,000 that may or may not be in the ocean.
And Allie and Jason are like, you can see it in their faces, like I don't think they're acting at this point. They're like, what is going
Jason
on with her
literally
today?
mouths, "What the
fuck is going on?" So Dawn walks up, and Jessie's immediately like barking at her, like, "You're gonna sell us out, blah blah blah." And Dawn's like, "Sweetheart, no, I'm talking to my."
And she says that so condescendingly too, like, "Sweetie, no."
Listen to my conversation. She literally calls it a little sneaky.
You were listening to a private conversation, you little sneak.
She does say little sneaky. I forgot about that.
She goes, "You little sneaker," or something like that. And they're like, "Well, Allie and Jason are like, Dawn, are you really going to sell us out?" And she's like, "No, it doesn't matter what I was saying. It was a private conversation. The point is I got a boat." And everyone forgets about it. They're like, "Okay, cool, well."
My favorite part is that they're like, "How do you know this guy?" Because this guy she knows happens to have the exact boat with state-of-the-art GPS treasure hunting material. And they're like, "How do you know this guy?" And she's like, we met in Florida. Yeah, we definitely met in Florida."
Keep that in mind, because there's some things about Florida that come up later, y'all.
I guess we should also say, just to clarify, because the whole team is there, they do start arguing like pretty viciously about who the treasure is going to belong to, because at the end of the scene previously where Dawn gets them the boat, Krakoa and Jason are both lobbying for the treasure to be turned over to the state of Hawaii because it's they owe it to the Hawaiian people, and like for the white people to be stealing the Hawaiians' treasure is not okay. Yeah. So they're all arguing like, where should it go? Who does it really belong to?
That's our ship.
Yours? When did it become yours?
Hawaii's ours, our heritage.
It is mine. I found the ship.
Finders keepers, okay? Whoever finds whatever they find can keep it. How about that?
Not by law.
Whose law?
It's in Hawaiian waters.
It is beyond 12 miles.
Okay, look. This isn't even about the money, okay? There could be special artifacts on this ship.
Oh, yeah, it's about the artifacts. This is about money.
I don't need you guys.
What do you think you're doing?
Oh, I'm taking my stuff.
This is ours.
Ours nothing. It's not anybody's yet. Nobody's
This belongs to Hawaii.
found the boat.
It doesn't matter.
It is Hawaii.
Sean is pissed because this team is not working together. So eventually Sean's like, he's chastising them for arguing, and then they get him to calm down and they convince him to let them all go through with it because they all learn that they need each other's expertise for various parts of the dive. And so they say, if we can turn this into a training exercise, can we still do it? And Sean, who is a sucker for training exercises, he's like, damn it.
So they're all on this boat, and of course Allie is back on walkie-talkie duty, and Allie's on 100% walkie-talkie duty, and all the men the men in Krakoa are down diving, and Nick is steering the boat and kind of doing logistics.
This is really important because this is where, when I mentioned earlier that the possibility of Allie and Sean comes up later in the episode, this is where that happens. So while all the rest of the team is going outside to sort of watch the scanning device on the computer on the bow of the ship.
Which is very high-tech. It's literally
so high-tech.
It's just a line that beeps and you can't see anything. And they, again, gaslight you to be like, as a viewer, like, are we seeing anything? Or is that just literally a radar dot? But anyway.
And Jessie the whole time is like, is that it? Is that it? Is that it?
She's
is that it?
literally drooling from the mouth.
Oh my god, this is awesome! You guys are gonna be rich! We're gonna be rich! Look out, treasure! Here we go!
She's literally crazy eyes. Okay, keep going.
No, so Sean and Dawn are in the cabin for 5 seconds, and she literally tells Sean.
So Allie's really lit up by this rescue swimmer. For a while there, I thought it was going to be you and her.
And she tries again to get her nose in Allie's business. Like, I do not know.
She's jealous because Allie's a fiery, sexy Australian redhead, and she's
she's poised. She's got
Florida.
life experience.
Yeah, and she's moonlights as a helicopter pilot. She's very interesting, and she's
got all the skills. And so Sean turns this around and is like, well, listen, you should not, number one, be worried about my business at all. You should only be worried about your business because your business is constantly being divisive and putting a wedge in the team. For some reason, you insist on being constantly the problem. Right? So you cannot be a part of this team unless you become an actual part of this team. So he walks out the door, leaves her there to just think about those little words of wisdom.
And she's just sitting there like, oh yeah, he looked so good.
She totally is. Did not hear a word he said.
So after that, they all dive down, and Jason's just obsessed with getting this. We'll play a clip for you. It's called the Anahaka or something like that.
I found it. The stone icon of Mono. Shark Amakua.
Which looks like a stone that has a Wi-Fi signal on it. That's exactly what it is, because this was pre-Wi-Fi, so... You know, the little, how you can tell you have internet or Wi-Fi?
Right.
It literally is that pattern on a stone. And he's being classic Jason, where he's like, they're like, Jason, they nudge a torpedo. Sorry, I missed that part.
Oh, right. This is very important.
And the torpedo is just slowly, I don't know, you guys. It doesn't make any sense. The tornado.
They're very worried it's going to detonate.
But it's slowly moving, but it's completely horizontal on the floor. So it doesn't make any sense that it's...
It sprouts little legs and it's
it's literally lying
moves like a crab.
It's lying horizontal on the floor. And yeah, I don't know. It doesn't. And
I also just want to play this clip. The only reason why is so that I can make one joke and one joke only.
Gotta help me get it up.
I'll help you get it up.
I'll help you get it up any day. Just tell me what to do, baby boy. We are
my pink organs.
Ew, we are so horny all the time. It grosses me out. People listening are like, these guys are way too horny. Sure enough, Jason's about to go up with this artifact that he has, and Sean is like, drop it, let's go. And he takes off his scuba mask dramatically and says, damn it, Sean! And they swim to the top, and what happens right when they get to the top?
What happens?
Explosion. The inching torpedo that all of a sudden got legs blows up, and the whole ocean blows up. And they actually used some good footage for this one, because I know they didn't do that stunt themselves. They don't have the budget for that. And
of course, Sean knew. Like, he knew.
He knew, of course.
Only Sean knew, because he was not... Keep in mind, he was the only person that did not have his own agenda in this. He didn't want money. He didn't want artifacts for Hawaii. He wasn't doing this for his own pride.
Sean is like...
He was able to see it from a whole nother level. So he was able to see danger.
What would you compare Sean to? He's like a Messiah type character. Yeah, I was about to say
Absolutely
that.
God.
He's like just this character. They just make him out to be the world's best human. But my favorite part is that the end of this episode, so they go on the ship and they're all reconvening, and Jason's furious, and he's like, Sean, you don't have any idea how important that was to me. I can't believe you did this. And then Sean's not saying anything. He's like, do you have something you want to say to me? You better say it. And Sean, in a really calm voice, goes, teamwork. And Jason just completely like, I don't know. It makes no sense. But Jason stops his fury and he looks ponderingly and he's like, Sean did it again, damn it. God damn it, Sean did it again. And then the episode ends. He doesn't even give an explanation to anything. He just says the word teamwork.
Does he have to, though?
Jason looks off and he's like, and then it ends. And
then they're like, that's why Sean's the team leader.
Yeah,
that's why he's the leader.
So if anyone's trying to fight you, or if you happen to be in a gang like Tanner, or come across Tanner in a gang, and someone's trying to mug you, just be like, teamwork. And
you know, just kind of like walk up real close. You got to be real close in distance. Get right up to their ear. Teamwork. And they will leave you the F alone.
So, needless to say, no treasure for the team. So, this episode is episode 11, and it's called Bent. There's not a lot to this episode except for it's really, really showing you that Allie and Nick are becoming such little lovebirds.
Yeah, it really... There's all these like sort of subtle, like you never see them kiss on the lips weirdly.
Yeah, it's always like on the cheek, like it's always a weird cheek thing.
It's very chaste, and I can't quite figure out why Baywatch Hawaii is making it so chaste.
You know why? I was just thinking about this, Cadence.
Why?
Because we were talking about this earlier. JD and Jesse they're in this weird like we don't even know what they are in anymore, but it has not shown them like kiss or be physical together at all.
Correct.
And I think they're trying to keep this like appeal to the audience of like these are sexy singles all the time. And for any of you that are scuba dive enthusiasts out there, you know what the bends are. And the bends are when you come up too fast and you get air bubbles in your bloodstream. Which can be very, very painful and very deadly.
Or can kill you. Yeah.
And can be fatal. Yes.
So this is mainly, like Colin said, we're just trying to really hit home that Nick and Allie go from like a very chaste, like will they, won't they, to like they are straight up in love because
like,
they,
yeah.
an experimental, 100%, even the red hair. I didn't even think about that. My favorite part is that the sub that goes down is literally like spray painted on the side. The title is Experimental Submarine. They're just really making sure you know that it's experimental. Because also when they call for help, they're like, this is the experimental submarine.
Why does it need to be? Why can't it just be a submarine?
I know. Only an experimental can have that big of an issue, I guess. So they get stuck on the bottom. Their motor flips out because it's experimental. They have not done enough test runs. So they call in the Coast Guard and the lifeguards, and they go to rescue. And in the process of this rescue is when Nick gets the bends. And so you see the distress that Allie's in. And more than anything, the highlight of this episode is the speech that Allie gives Nick at the end of the episode when she finally admits that she's in love with him, which you can hear now.
Nick, it's Ellie. Nick. You said your body wouldn't fail you. Please be right. You know, I was thinking about the dolphins. How you said they always move together. And for so long now, that's all I've wanted. To belong to someone. To be a part of someone. And Nick, you are that person. I want you to know how much I need you. How much I admire you and respect you. And not just for what you did today for those people. But because I love you.
Right, guys.
So she wants to be a dolphin by his side, floating through the ocean of life.
Everything in this fucking show has to do with the ocean. Like, just... You can be like a lawyer and not constantly use like lawyer analogies, or you can be anything, like a doctor. You don't always have to be like, I want to be your stethoscope to your like.
You mean you don't decorate, like if you're a lawyer, you don't decorate the interior of your house like a courtroom?
Yeah, exactly. Or like if you're a doctor,
you don't sit in the judge chair.
Have, like X-ray machines up, or like. Yeah, if you're a gardener, you don't have... Well, I guess you would have your house filled with stuff, but a gardener...
The gardener is the one metaphor that doesn't work.
Yeah, that was like literally the one I chose out of any other profession. I don't know why I chose that one.
It's cool.
So that's pretty much episode 11, guys.
So episode 12 is the path of least resistance. And the main plot point that happens in this is...
Oh God!
As Colin mentioned earlier, Dawn has a little secret.
Not a little secret. Well, it's a confusing little big secret.
You're right. You're right.
Put
It is
her on that
very
show.
unclear the size of the secret.
Put her on Big Little Lies or Little Big Lies, because that's where she needs to
all
be.
sizes of lies.
She would be so good on that show. Basically, what happens in episode 12, The Path of Least Resistance, is this. What is it? Like Cadence, like a subpoena, or like something gets sent to.
Yeah, she gets a notice from the
desk.
district attorney that she's going to be prosecuted.
So she's like basically going to Sean and being like, I have some news. I have some big news. And this also kind of puts a little bit into perspective her little past relationship with JD when they lived in
Oh, yes. You know what?
he was part of this whole thing. The
Sorry.
tangled web of lies is unwavering.
Unwavering or unraveling or
Unraveling.
unwavering?
All of the above.
The thing that I was going to say that just came to me in this moment was that this whole time I've been thinking of the legal predicament as the big secret, but I'm just now realizing that her knowing and hooking up with JD in Florida is the big secret.
So that Cadence is right. There's like this other secret that's coming out about JD, but this whole time, like, you're like wondering what's going on. And then she finally drops the secret, but it still doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, I was watching it with Cadence and I was like, wait, what? I still don't understand what's happening.
It's real blurry about what exactly the issue is.
Yeah. The whole time I'm like, okay, so what happened? She basically, and Cadence, correct me if I'm wrong, she was a lifeguard on duty with another lifeguard in Florida.
Correct.
And her lifeguard partner that she was on duty with was an alcoholic, and he was always drunk.
Correct.
And there was a man that was drowning, and the drunk partner lifeguard went out to save him, and they both were struggling. Basically, they both started to drown. So Dawn had to go out and save the day. Mm-hmm. And she chose to save the actual victim, the non-lifeguard drunk partner. She chose to save that person. And the drunk lifeguard partner died. He drowned.
Right.
And in court, she said, this is where it gets confusing. She basically
essentially covered for him.
Yeah, she didn't mention anything about him being drunk, but so
she wanted, I think, and this is my assumption. As you can see, we're still trying to pick this apart because it was very unclear.
Oh, and it was building up to this for a while, you guys. It was a big deal.
But the gist that I'm getting is that, because she keeps referring to, like, I didn't want to out him. I didn't want to embarrass him. He had a wife and kids.
2 kids.
And, like, I didn't want to leave them hanging. So it infers that she doesn't tell anyone he was drinking in order for them to be paid the life insurance money. And so that they can be provided for. But then somehow later down the line, and we don't know how this happens.
Because keep in mind, she was the only person there.
She literally says, I was the only witness.
I was the only witness. And the lifeguard died, and she saved the other man who was unconscious. So somehow, really mysteriously, I guess they found out that he was drunk or something. It makes literally no sense.
Somehow there was another witness.
Somewhere.
Nobody knew about.
And so it got like, the court case got reopened, and she was
so
just
she perjured herself is the short version.
Yeah, that's the short version. She perjured herself. But how, why, it doesn't make any sense. Point is that she did it. And Sean, this is where he gets really kind of hot, because he's just like, I'm going to take care of this. Like, don't you worry. I'm going to take care of this. Which partly is like, dude, let Dawn figure out her own shit. She fucking did this. I don't like, why are you doing this for Dawn? She's awful. Like, everybody knows she's awful. Why would you do this? But he's just really intense on figuring it out. And you know what? He does.
You know what? It's foolish.
Cadence is she's gone.
I started thinking, no. It's because I still was like taking a moment to like think about how this was like this massive secret.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like there's all this buildup. Dawn's perjured herself. She's lied to the government. She's in big trouble. And she literally tells Sean, and he's like, I'll take care of it. And like, he's like a manager, like a mid-level manager on the island of Hawaii of a team of lifeguards. And somehow he just has to make one phone call.
He's got such influence. It's amazing.
As a district attorney, you should know that the county that you represent allowed a known alcoholic to remain on duty. Now, Leon Travis repeatedly went to his supervisor, and he was ignored. If you allow this case to continue, that will all come out. Of course you should settle. Your county is completely negligent. I realize that, but Miss Masterton was only trying to do her duty. She was protecting your reputation and the reputation of the dead lifeguard. You're forcing her to become a witness for the plaintiff. Listen, we all wish it could be different, but it's not. We just tell them that unless I see that in writing by tomorrow morning, Miss Masterton's attorney may be forced to file against your county. Yeah. All right, fine. I'll wait to hear from you.
Once you roll with that Mitch crowd, you don't. Yeah, and the thing is he's on the phone and he's just talking. He's basically using total legal jargon, and somehow he figures it out. But if you watch it and listen, you absolutely will not be able to figure out what he's talking about. Or what
they have weaved a web.
They weaved a web,
yes.
And basically he took care of it. And Dawn was very, very thankful to him. But that is the main plot point of episode 12. It was Dawn's big secret, and now the whole crew knows that her and JD are together.
Yeah, I was gonna say the one other thing that's really important about that is that it's such a classic JD dick move.
Ugh.
Okay, so this is the episode where Jesse finds out, like way from the beginning, Dawn asked JD to keep it a secret. He does. No one says anything. Now she finally finds out that not only did they know each other, but they were like romantically involved on some level in Florida, because what happens in Florida stays in Florida.
Florida, sweet Florida.
And she has like very little to no response about this, and she just doesn't understand why JD wouldn't tell her. And so they are having this conversation in the lagoon.
In the lagoon again. It's
in
raining.
the water
This time
while
it's
raining.
To signify that like it's a sad moment.
I want to talk to you about all this Dawn and Florida stuff.
JD, I don't need an explanation, okay?
Fine. But I need to talk about it. Dawn asked me not to tell anyone that she and I knew each other in Florida. So I didn't. I didn't think it would matter.
It doesn't.
But it does. Because it seems like I'm being deceitful.
It was deceitful, JD. I can't forgive it, so I'm gonna ignore it. And the reason that I can do that is because it's so not like you. You and I hate lies. If I thought you were a liar, we couldn't even be friends, but we are, aren't we?
Yes! Of course we're friends.
Then it didn't happen. Just leave it at that.
How sad.
Why do you say that?
Because there's so little passion left between us, you can't even get angry.
And JD.
You guys remember earlier when we said he's like a emotional abuser? Like he's like psychologically abusing her. He's like, you're not even getting mad. And he's like, you don't even have the passion in this relationship to be able to get mad anymore. And he swims away. Like making it
He
her
turns
fault.
it.
It's her fault.
His gaslight. He's a PhD in freaking gaslighting, along
Him and
with
Dawn
Dawn.
should get together and open up a new school.
So he makes this all about her. Like she forgives him. She's willing to like be gracious. And he literally is like, well, if there was any passion, you'd be mad about this. And you know what's really sad? You're not passionate, which means you don't give a fuck. So bye.
And let's keep in mind, like, JD pretty much got off watching Kokoa shower on the bed. He's, like, left Jessie. He didn't do the workouts with her to watch Kokoa. He got caught, like, literally giving the most sexual rub down to Kokoa. He now has lied about Dawn. Like, there's not, like, Jessie has been so chill about this.
There's nothing redeeming about it. He trolled for women on the docks.
And Jessie's been so chill. She's even been like, I'm not jealous, but you're just a dick. And now he's doing, like, this solidifies JD as being just, I hope his character can come back. I'm holding out hope that JD can do something to reestablish his character or why he's even on this team.
Oh, good God, I hope so. Because at this point, if Jessie should be thinking about murdering anyone, it should only be JD.
So that kind of summarizes that
wraps that
episode.
up.
Oh my God, but Cadence, I'm wondering, what is the episode? So we have a few things that we're definitely going to show to you on Instagram. One is the underwater circus that we were talking about.
Of course.
But as a reward for something, and Cadence, you have to tell me, remember when they go and they all go underwater and watch the fireworks laying down? Okay, you guys, I don't even know how to explain how freaking cuckoo this is.
I forgot about this.
But Sean, like, I'm pretty sure it's at the end of this episode 12, he like is giving a reward to everybody for doing such a good job that he takes them to a pond. It's like a pond.
They're all like standing sort of in the lagoonish area, and they're like, he brings goggles because you never know when you need goggles and when you don't. And they're like, okay, what sadistic exercise did you design for us this time, you hard ass? And he's like, not a punishment, a reward.
And they put on their goggles and they all lay under like maybe 6 inches of water and watching fireworks. And it's like this, it's bizarre. And they're all laying there trying to stay, like all the actors are trying to stay
trying
underwater.
not to float up.
So they're like all so awkward and they're trying to smile
They're so
too
tense.
and pretend like they're having a good time. And we're like, what even is this? Do fireworks look way
They
better?
ask him like, what is this, or what does this do, or something to that effect, and he's like, magic. And
Yes, and it's like trying to show scenes of like what the fireworks would look like underwater, and they look like what you would think, like fireworks underwater. They're like
They look like blurry
fireworks. It doesn't make any sense, and they're
so
all
they're all-
acting like it is the time of their fagging lives, smiling, laughing,
so big.
Like this is like he's introduced
Underwater.
them to LSD.
This is all happening underwater. Like
and
smiling,
like
laughing.
6 inches of water. So that was just cuckoo.
Oh my
and
God, yeah,
had
I
to
forgot
throw
about
in
that.
there. You have to keep that because
I
that was
completely forgot about that.
That's one of those moments where it was like the underwater circus where you're like, where are they? Who thought of this?
It was nuts.
So anyway,
The
that's
best
done.
reward.
And
I'm gonna
now-
take Jed on a date to the ocean here in Humboldt. Just be like, I have a special surprise for
And
you.
you guys just lay in 6 inches of muddy water and watch bad fireworks.
All right. So anyway, moving on. Take a deep breath because we're going into 13. This is our last summary of this episode.
And it is called Liquid Visions. And this is where things get... There's different types of cuckoo bananas, and this show likes to just really, like, keep it really mixed up. This one is primarily based on Dawn and Sean, and they are drawn to the strange and spiritual powers of the mind, which, I don't know if you guys know this, but the mind is pretty cool.
The mind is unlimited in its powers.
A lot of people don't realize that. So when we say drawn to the strange and spiritual powers of the mind, we're not kidding. Dawn really brings out her PhD in octogenarians.
She shows exactly what she's carrying in that big brain of hers.
So she's like trying to convince Sean to do these weird exercises, like basically stay underwater for like minutes at a time.
Because a guy in the cold open, they rescue a guy who's been trapped underwater for 20 minutes. And they're just like, this is unheard of. And she's obsessed with, obviously, air and oxygen.
Like
so she
life.
goes to the
It's her
hospital.
life. It's her life force. No pun intended.
Yes. So she goes to the hospital and asks the doctor about it. And he's like, you seem interested. Are you a doctor? And she's like, no, I'm just really interested in the field. And I'm like, the field of air and breathing? Anyway.
She really banks off the air and breathing part of this.
She talks to the patient and she's like, never mind, he's just been through a trauma and he wakes up from a coma and she's like, what did you see? What happened? How was it? And
it's the
he
strange
basically
and powerful mind.
Yeah, she's like, tell me more about the strange powers of the mind. So he summarizes essentially like, I didn't feel or see anything. Like it was super peaceful. I wasn't panicked and it was all over. And then I woke up here and and then he literally goes, well, I'm feeling pretty tired. And so they hint.
Can you leave now? These are the strangest questions I've ever heard on my hospital bed.
So basically she becomes fixated on that. And then she tries to incorporate like kind of his philosophy that this guy who had lived through this trauma with the philosophy she learned in India. That sort of feels like maybe a sensory deprivation situation,
Yeah,
like one of those
if
sensory
you've been
deprivation tanks.
locked in a tank or something, your mind starts to go to these weird places. But the thing about that is sensory deprivation, you're not depriving yourself of oxygen. Like you have to be able, like this.
You are breathing. You are floating on water.
She is going in a whole different direction, and like
she misread the instructions.
She did not remember. She could not figure out how to do it.
She was
She's
high
like,
on local antihistamines. Spider bites, you know
what happens in Sri Lanka. So she missed the thing, and she's trying to like make this happen by basically like not having you breathe for a long time, which technically you can do out of water.
I never think. Oh my God, Colin, I just had a flashback. So when we lived in New Mexico, after I moved back to like our hometown as an adult, my youngest brother Mason also lived there. And there wasn't like a public pool you could use, but there was an indoor pool at the rehabilitation center, the physical therapy. And it was heated, so you could go all during the winter. So we would always go swim during the winter and every night. And Mason worked there. And so he'd be like surrounding the pool or whatever. And most of the times it was just us. Like very few people use the pool. So we would always just end up like goofing around.
Did he drown you? Did he
no.
try to make you do a strange spiritual mind exercise?
But I just had this, just when you said that, I had this memory that all the men got like really macho and they decided to like have this holding their breath competition and who could hold their breath underwater. And it was like our friend Jess and it was Jed and Dad was there swimming with us. And so everybody's going under holding their breath. And Mason's like, I know I can't swim, but I want to play. And so he like planks over the edge of the pool.
And just sticks his little face in.
And just sticks his face in the water. He's like, time me. And then once he got out, I was like, you could have just held your breath.
Well, it's for you know that when I was at your house last, Cadence's son, Jonas, was like, I can hold my breath for 3 minutes. So we did the same thing. We got a bowl of water. I don't know. You were not there during this. But
where was I? Is this what you do with my children when I'm not around?
So I made him. Well, Addie, your other daughter, wanted to waterboard him. She was getting a little Jessie with it.
They're like, Mom's gone. Let's break out the torture.
But I put a bowl and he actually held his breath for 1 minute and 46 seconds, which is pretty impressive. Jonas. Shout out to JoJo for his impressive.
Move to Florida.
You and Dawn can start something. Okay, we're getting sidetracked. So
sorry.
That's basically kind of the essential part of this episode is
she talks Sean into trying it.
Yeah, so the whole thing is she's trying to convince Sean, and I think like Dawn is kind of attracted to Sean because he's like everything that she is not. Like he's like a good person, and so she kind of has this weird like
he has no patience for drama. Like he's her polar opposite.
Yeah, like episode 2 or episode 2 or 3 where she just like came and sat on his bed and like just trying to talk to him
and then last episode she's like making it about, or the gold episode, she's asking about him and Allie and she was jealous that Allie liked him or she thought they were getting together. So it's like she's drawn to him because he's her opposite in all things. Yeah. Like she's the dark and he's the light.
So she tries to swindle him in and he's not really down, but then they kind of he kind
They
of
bond by the end.
Yeah, they do it and they bond, but nothing really happens as far as unleashing any strange powers of the mind. But
I think
you know, I was holding my breath.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
No pun intended. Jinx.
So, yeah, I think it's more that they're going to start getting together. Oh, and then Kakoa, Alia, and Jesse obviously are saving lives at a party. I mean, just assume that when we're not talking about the characters, they are out saving lives. So it should be without saying.
I mean, if you can't see someone there saving a life, that's a given. That's a given.
So that's the end of it. And so we've condensed, like I said, a few episodes into this episode of the podcast. And what
all
we're
the
going
best
to do,
parts.
like I said, next week we will actually do our traditional style of watching an episode, because the next one, I think a lot of stuff is going to happen. And I think we get introduced to a new character. So we're actually going to watch it with you guys again and go through it. And then
make sure to check out Instagram for all the best visuals.
If you want to see the visuals
of this episode.
After we do that, we're going to kind of do one more episode where we're doing what we did today and condense a few others. And then we're going to get to the final episode, which is The Killing Machine. And it's the
before our 2 specials.
Oh, and then, yeah, we talked about our specials. So that is exciting. Okay, well,
right.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Have good luck. I mean, processing all this. Hopefully we didn't cause you too much emotional trauma.
Yeah, I know it's really deep and hard and intricate. So hopefully.
But we believe in you.
But we believe in you.
All right. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.